Because believe me, if a woman wants to ask you to marry him, this is a woman that got something that she's not. If you can get a woman to ask you to marry her, this is a woman that is desperate. For some reason. It could be because of age. It could be because she already has kids. It could be because she's about to have one.
When women are single for too long, many of them, they're not feeling good about themselves. They're not whole. They feel desperate and scared. They're, they're freaking out because they're, such and such age and haven't found anybody yet. Those women will abandon all of their standards and logic that they would previously had to appease a man and start doing things that they don't even want to do. Okay, so we got an email from a viewer, a subscriber named Chloe Lynn. Thank you, Chloe, for the question. She says she was watching talk radio, or she was listening to talk radio, and she heard that jewelry stores will be selling engagement rings for women to purposely propose to men, for women to propose to men.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
And she wants to know what we think about that. And I looked this up. It's funny. So I looked this up, and this is accurate, right? This is like something that people are doing.
I mean, it's for feminists.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
I mean, I don't see a problem with it for feminists. That to me sounds like a feminist thing.
That they'd like to do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, if you're a woman that I guess feels like, again, you want to, ask men out on dates, you want to pay for dates, you want to ask men to marry you because you feel like you're equal.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I guess that makes sense for those women.
Yeah, it's true. I guess
I don't believe in it only because I think that men and women are different. But if you don't think that, if you really are buying into feminism and I guess, or a red pill.
True.
You know what I mean? Then I guess this is okay.
It's always funny because whenever I see these videos of these women doing this, I'm sure some of them are probably staged. I don't know, but the ones that that aren't, like, I never really look at the woman because I always look at how the man's reaction. I've seen a couple of them where the men were just almost not they were humiliated, like kind of embarrassed by it, and then I've seen the ones where the men are like accepting of it and they love it. So I guess it's like what you're saying, that if it's kind of like I would only think that a feminist would do this, or somebody who, like you said, thinks that we are somehow equal, and that
but men think that too.
Yeah.
So it's not just women. We had a comment. We talked about being feminine.
That guy,
one of the guys said that he felt that it was sneaky that I tried to say that men paying for dates was something, So there are a lot of men who don't trust women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they like for you to pay for dates. They like for you to ask them out. They like because in that way they know for sure.
Right.
Somehow psychologically they feel like for sure she likes me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If she's going to pay for dates.
So for that, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. If a woman wants to ask a man out and a woman wants to pay for the dates, if a woman wants to propose to a man, if a woman wants to be the breadwinner of her house.
Yeah, then go
and
right
you
ahead.
find a man that's okay with that, then that seems to be, to me, each his own. If you like it, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not for me. Now, for me, I don't pay for dates. I'm not asking you to marry me. I'm not pursuing you.
Yeah.
Because I'm old school. So for me, that's absurd.
I agree. I do. I agree. I think the idea of because I feel like when men say they want a feminine woman, this is because a lot of the men that they're accepting women who pay their way or pay for dates and stuff like that. I feel like those men still want this feminine woman. They always still want that.
Well, they want their cake and eat it
too,
they
always
like feminists.
Yeah, exactly.
They want a real man, but they also want to want a beta man. I'll do everything. I'll pay for everything. We'll equal ourselves out. You know what I mean? But I want a real man.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but if you're gonna act like a guy, then you don't really want a real man.
Right.
It's like psychologically men do that too.
And it's like men are wanting women to be so feminine and stuff. And then when she does something that's masculine, which we believe that it is a masculine trait to pay for dates and to propose to a man. It's a masculine trait to take care of a man. To me, it's just a masculine trait to me. And so when men still want a woman to be feminine, and then she's doing something that's masculine, like taking care of you in some way, because to some extent, a woman paying for dates and stuff is she's providing something for you, and I just feel like that's a role reversal. Let me just read this comment we got about the situation, because I feel like it really ties into this whole women. This is the progression of a woman that proposes to a man. Okay, he said, "I like how you slipped." Is it from our video? What was that video?
It was about the being feminine.
Oh yeah,
it was the last video.
Our last video that we did, being feminine. I'll link that above. You guys will see that video. But he said, "I like how you slipped that paying for a date is masculine. To that, I respectfully disagree. I have women who offer to pay for me when we go out on dates. It may be 1 out of every 3 or 4 dates, but it's still appreciated when a woman pays for me. It shows that she isn't just there to be fed by you. It shows that she genuinely enjoys your company too." So, okay.
But this is a man to me that doesn't trust women. See, to me, right? Because that's absurd. You know what I mean? You know, the thing is like, if you think that's some sort of litmus test, she likes you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then you're the guy that's going to be proposed to. You're the one that guy, and you'll also be the guy saying, "Oh, I want a woman who is, you know." But this is what we call the modern man. We always talk about the modern woman, but there's a modern man too.
Yeah,
so what he said to me is absurd. But to a lot of men, that's not absurd.
But
because
we're not.
If you're in if you're in 2021 where women are doing the same thing as men, or they're saying they're doing the same thing as men, then that makes complete sense to the modern man. If this were 30 years ago, he'd be laughed out the building.
Yeah, we're not
by men, not women.
Right.
You know
right. And 30 years ago, this person would. Oh my God.
Men would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But because men have been conditioned through feminism. They don't even know that they're really being conditioned.
But it's our fault. Look, don't get this. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not mad at him for that. That's what most men.
What he's saying to me, I feel like a lot of women are like this.
Yeah, under 40, most men are going to agree with this.
Yeah.
I think Abba and Preach was like, not Preach, but Abba was like, he likes for women to pay because he said the same thing. So he's a millennial.
And he's a modern man,
right?
Karen, you guys know Karen and I are not modern women. We are not feminists. We are traditional women. So when we see comments like this. It's not desired nor required. We're just like, no, that's not going to happen. But the men that we date and gravitate to, and who gravitate to us, just naturally we get traditional men. Like the men who talk to us are men who would think this comment is nuts. They would
every man I've ever dated
would never deal with this.
I've actually asked lots of men.
Yeah.
Would you ever want me to pay? They go, no.
Yeah.
You know, they say it like that. No. You know how am I looking at a dinner table and the bill goes to a woman?
Right.
You know what I mean? He said that just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
He said not because of the waitress, just because it doesn't feel right in my soul.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But you know what's like I'm saying, feminism conditioned men, and a lot of men don't even realize they've been conditioned.
And this is what this is what I want to tell men too, is that you guys give us a lot of gems and stuff that Kara and I we appreciate, number one, and we learn from when you guys. When you men out there that are level-headed men,
right,
and you guys say something that makes complete sense to me that we didn't know, like we appreciate that. This is a moment in time where I feel like you guys need to pay attention to what I'm about to say here, okay? Because a lot of times, not all the times, please understand, I always have to preference this. We are not talking about all women that do this. I know there's women that pay for dates that are perfectly fine, but beware, because there are women out here who are testing you.
Yeah.
They want to see if you're going to take the offer for paying for the date or whatever it is that they're offering, or gifts or whatever it is. And a lot of those women are just wanting to see if you're going to be that guy. And they see, a lot of times if they see that you are just taking, allowing her to pay, she's cataloging that, this is not going to be a serious one then.
There are some women that are going to look at it as I can control him.
That's what my next thing.
Right, that I can control him because he allows me to put the same amount of we do the same thing.
Yeah.
So he can't tell me what to do, and he's that type of guy.
Yeah. So
there's going to be a woman that is looking for a traditional guy and go, oh, he's one of those.
She's testing. She's testing it on both ends.
Either way.
So one woman's testing it to see if she can control you later on. And let me tell you, it is a little tiny grooming things that y'all won't be paying attention to that women do. They will try to test you and see, well, if he lets me pay for a date, if he lets me propose to him, you know what I mean? Right. Then I'm definitely going to have the leg up on this relationship. I'm definitely going to be the one that's going to be running the show here. I'm wearing the pants. I can at least, I know at least I can kind of topple him in some way at some point. She may not do it immediately, but it could happen. And then, like you said, there's the other woman who's just trying to see if you allow her to pay for a date because she's trying to find, the guy who's traditional, who doesn't even want that. I
mean, Louis Farrakhan said, he was on The Breakfast Club a while back, and he was talking about this sort of thing, and he was talking about him, and I think his wife was Khadijah, and he said when we first started dating, she actually had more money than him,
right?
And he was just like, he said, but I would never ask a woman to buy anything from me. He said, even though even when we did little things like buy ice cream, I always bought her ice cream, even though I didn't have as much as she had. 100%. And he was just like, because he said, this is the thing about women. He was saying, was it Wu, Angela Wu, or whatever? Is that a Yee, Woo, whatever there?
Wait, are you about The Breakfast Club?
The Breakfast Club.
Angela Yee.
Yeah, Angela Yee. Okay. He was just saying that he said he said you ladies are doing too much. Too much. You're showing too much of your body. You're having sex too soon. You're paying for things. You're doing too much. And Charlemagne was like, right.
I don't remember everything that Farrakhan says, but he is right.
He's right about this. And he was just saying, he said, if you do not, as a man, establish the masculinity and he said because women are looking for the head of household way before you become the head of household. He said because when a woman is trying to when a woman is looking for a husband, she's looking for you. Remember he said that he's looking for you, and by what he meant there is he's looking for the masculinity,
the man in you.
You know what I mean? And that's what women do. That's what that's what all of this opening the car door and paying. That's all it's for. Is a woman is looking for you. But see, then feminism came around and made y'all think that it was okay to do that because there are some women that actually do think that this is okay. The divorce rate couldn't be higher.
Yeah. I think this is completely fine. This is completely fine. Taking care of
so this whole proposing and buying male engagement rings makes sense to this time because men are becoming more beta.
They are.
They're accepting it. So it's just like that. That's what I'm saying. I was watching this thing. This lady said 50-50 households are like inviting people to a party, but the host only made enough food for herself.
Right. That's it.
And everybody else has to bring food for themselves and drinks for themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what 50-50 households are like.
This is not the first time there's been a lot of men who said this exact thing in our comments. So it's not just you. Many men have said I just love when a woman just offers to pay this and is proposing to me and all this. It's like, you guys have to, I don't know, some things are red flags that people don't be paying attention to. And I just think that that's something y'all have to pay attention to. Just at least look out for, and you think that some things are just to be courteous. But really it's just a form of either one, sometimes women who propose are desperation. Okay, you weren't doing it. So she's like,
I believe the girl in the photo. I don't know if it's the girl in the peach dress.
I'm not sure. There's been some.
She's like on one knee. Yeah. But I believe she's pregnant.
Oh yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, she's pregnant in that photo. So this man knows she's pregnant. Don't want to marry her.
Don't marry her.
That whole thing didn't push him to do that. So here she is having sex with a guy, getting knocked up by a guy, and now she has to propose to him because clearly he wasn't in the mood to do it.
And videotaping it's called pushing someone in a corner to make them feel embarrassed enough to say yes. There's small things that happen before that happens, the proposal, that woman proposing, and one of the smallest things that happens is a woman paying your way. Okay, now I know it's just a date, but I'm telling you, a lot of time it's just a grooming period for couple different reasons. And when you just accept it, it's a problem. But it's because men have become so beta, and I'm also, it's our fault. It's our fault for feminists.
No, I don't blame men for this.
I don't blame men for this.
Started feminism.
We started feminism, and then we don't have part of it, but it's here. We started feminism, and now men they don't have to do much. They don't have to. They don't feel like they have to do much.
See, because back in the day, men liked a challenge in a woman.
Yeah.
Now men want a sure thing. Because their egos are not as tough as it used to be. Now they're a little bit more afraid of women. And so now the reason why men like for women to ask them out is because it's a sure thing. Yeah. You know she likes you because she asked you out. Yeah. But there used to be a time where men actually liked the challenge of hunting. Yeah. The challenge of pursuing. You know what I mean? And now because women have become men, men don't see women as women anymore. They see them as themselves with vaginas.
Yep.
That's all they see.
Yeah.
And it sounds good. You know what I mean? But here we have a group of, an era of people where women sit around saying, I want a real man, while they go and pay for dates and while they go and pay for, 50-50 relationships.
Yeah.
And then they get mad when their man is just sort of passive and not being what you call a real man. And then we have men who say, oh, I want a feminine woman, a woman that lets me take the lead, but I want her to pay for the date.
It's like, dude,
it's just like, okay, you guys are lost in translation here.
It's not. This is why we like assumed.
This is why I stay.
This is why we
where
like
it is.
assumed roles. This is why we talk often about assumed roles. Like when it comes to relationships, because I do feel like, and I'm talking purely again on nature, when you do whatever nature is telling you naturally to do. There are alpha women out here that will soften up for a man who is super alpha.
Right.
It will happen, all right? It can happen, but it's as a man, I just feel like you're opening up the portal to a really, really bad situation.
A lot of these women are going to, get on their knee and propose, thinking this guy somehow is going to become, because now she's got him in marriage, he's going to be like, no, hun. But then you've created a situation now that when you start saying you want a real man, no. You started the relationship in charge, and now you have to deal with what you had. Well, you have to lay in the bed,
I know,
You got to lay in that bed.
The bed you made.
That you made. And that is just how it is. That's why I say I don't understand why women complain about relationships when they knew the kind of man they were dealing with before they got into the relationship. His comment, I don't have a problem with him because that is what it is. We live in that,
I expect it.
I expect it.
I
right.
expect comments like this and men, who think like this. I expect that and I accept it. I don't date men like that, but I do expect it and I do accept it because that's where we're at now. This is what women are doing now. And if you feel like it shows that she's genuinely enjoyed your company. No, it doesn't.
It does not.
It doesn't show that at all. And honestly, if she's there at all, it means that she genuinely enjoys your company. Right. But, okay. Don't get it twisted here.
Right. I mean, you can't decipher between a woman. I can tell what kind of man you are, whether you're paying or not. You know what I mean? I don't need you to pay for a dinner for me to understand that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't need you to do any of that. I just need you to be. That's why, again, I don't prep men. I don't say when I go on a date, I want you purely who you are.
Yeah,
then I can just
figure it out. Right. But we've had men say before to us that there are things that men do that are testing women a little bit while in the dating time of relationships, and I agree with that. I do know that men have little, men that have said that it is kind of like a peek into like, oh really? And okay, they're testing us a little bit, which it makes sense if you're gonna be with someone for the rest of your life or you're thinking about them on that level. It would make sense you do a little bit of a, what is she gonna do if I do this? That would make sense. So just know that when you guys are doing little testing things, we are too. There are things that...
that's the whole point of the date.
That's the whole point. So there are things that women are doing to test you, and one of the big ones is the dating
etiquette.
The dating etiquette.
Which is the dating etiquette in general. Opening car doors, opening doors. You know what I mean?
Planning women love when a man already has it planned out what you're going to be doing for that. I do. I like when a man asks me out and then he's already planned exactly what we're going to do. I like when he sometimes just orders my dinner.
Yeah, I do. Even if it's something I'm not really into, because I kind of feel then you just try something else. I feel like the idea that he wanted to do that.
It's making me feel like that's a masculine leadership. He's showing me that he's in charge without being aggressive. He's just kind of being assertive with it. But it's a manly thing when a man orders. Do you like white wine or red wine? I'm gonna order this one. You're gonna like this one. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. So that puts me in my feminine energy. If I were to go on a date and pay for a man's meal, is that a human nice thing to do? Okay, fine. It's whatever. We're in 2021. It's whatever. But when you look deeper and you're trying to find the one, or you're trying to understand the person you're with, it doesn't. It's not about just the money part and the paying for the date and the meal and all that stuff. It's like you said, the dating etiquette what are the intentions behind both people? Because when you go on dates and stuff, there is an intention on both ends. We don't know it yet. That's why you're supposed to get to know each other. But one of the big things that women look for is this exact thing. Is he gonna make me pay?
Those women, when you start dating a woman, she starts taking control of you. You have, just like I tell women, when they start, I want a real man, but I'm going to start doing 50-50. Like, okay, but don't start saying you want a real man as soon as you get in that relationship and he's beta as hell.
Yeah.
And he's like,
That's what you
okay
do.
with that. No, you lie in that bed you made.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about men who do things like that. Okay, but when a woman starts taking control of you and start being bullying a bit because she makes what you make and she's doing all that, you know what I mean? Then look, you liked it.
This is just starters.
See, I say again, I think that you date who you are.
You do.
I've said that 1,000 times. You date with the energy that you are. So if you go in suspicious, you date suspicious people.
And that,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go in knowing, if you're going in as a secure person, you date secure people. Because see, the whole point of security is that you know that you can leave no matter what the situation. If she's not nice to you, you can leave. Yeah. The same thing with women. If you're not in a relationship with a man and he doesn't treat you well, it's okay. You don't need to be afraid of relationships, because if that relationship's bad, you'll leave. Right. See, most people who don't leave relations are people who are afraid of themselves. They're afraid they're going to not leave. And they're going to be in a bad relationship because their self-esteem is lost in that relationship. Yeah. So I mean,
it starts off. It's how it starts. Yeah, it's true. It's how it starts off, though. If it starts off like this. And so that's like this whole
asking people out on dates. Like when women started doing that and men were like, oh, I'm so flattered. I'm like, right. But you never really heard of a man who actually married the woman that went over, you don't hear that too often. Again, there's always exceptions. Yeah. There'll always be somebody, oh, but my boyfriend, I met him. It's like, okay, we're not talking about you. We're talking about the average person. People, I
feel like we should preference a lot of things when we should just, there are exceptions and rules. And most people think that they are the exception when you're actually the rule.
The rule, right.
So there's people where most people are just the rule. If you have a situation you're in where you propose, you've been married for 30 years, then you were an exception. Right. So we get that, but that is extremely rare. That's just very rare.
But basically, most men are hunters by nature.
They should be.
You know what I mean? And so they don't really fall in love with women who pick them up.
Yeah, the idea.
That's just their psychology. They're mostly hunters by nature. So it's just like
doing stuff like this is making you feel like it's not like a hunter. I was.
They're flattered by it, but they're never. But that's just because you're easy. They know that they got you.
A quick story. When I lived in New York, I was dating this guy. I guess we were dating for a couple of months or whatever, 2-3 months, and we used to meet up in a coffee shop all the time, right? After work, and there was this old couple. When I say old, they were like in their 80s. They were an old Hispanic couple, and they were next to us. And in New York, the coffee shops are so tight. All the seats are so close together. And I was sitting there, and I know they were staring at us. But the guy that I was with was up there getting our coffee, and whatever. So then he came back to the seat, and we started coffee. And then the couple were like, "You were the." Told my date, they said, you're the first guy, we've been sitting here for 1 hour, and you were the first guy I see pay for your, either, I don't know if it's your girlfriend, your date, but it was the first person we see that they people watch, which was a lot of New Yorkers do that, and we laughed at it, and he was like, the guy said, we sat here for like an hour, and out of like, I don't know, like 12, 13 people, every woman has paid for the man. And he's always told his wife of 50 years, there's no reason for you to ever open your wallet in situations like, in situations like this. So my date was just like, oh no, I would never, I couldn't, there's no way I would ever have a woman pay for anything. I don't think that that's becoming of a man.
I actually had a guy friend, but he actually put up, he actually said once, he said, if you are a woman going through any kind of financial problems and you're sleeping next to a man, then you don't have a boyfriend. Because what he's saying is that men don't allow the women that they're sleeping with that they actually like. Yeah. You know what I mean? There are a lot of women around here sleeping with. There are a lot of women that are like living with men and sleeping with men that aren't making or bettering their life at all.
The ideas of jewelry stores now. See, where does that tell you though? Because she's talking about the jewelry stores are now doing this on basically gearing their the target right now, and their radar is on women proposing to. That's what it's showing you. That's where the world's going right now. Is that if a jewelry stores are starting to see that they need to up their game with men's engagement rings.
I'm telling you.
You can see that we should see. So
it's the Cardi B world.
Yeah. If jewelry companies are now starting to see the progression of women proposing, then they see a financial gain. But what we're seeing is You know, like,
and I have so
men are
many
becoming
guys,
more beta then.
yeah, and I have so many guy friends that say if I ever see my daughter do something like that, I'll snatch her up right quick and tell her, what the hell, I did not raise you this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get up.
Get up.
Up off of that is not a good look for a woman. You know, but I'm like, look, this is the generation your daughter's in. You know what I mean?
We have a lot of subscribers that have daughters. We noticed that, like teenage daughters. I'd like to know what you guys think. If your daughters proposed to whoever they were going to be getting married to or whoever they were interested in, would you guys... What would you feel like if your daughter did that? I know it's none of your business what she does with her life, but really genuinely as a father, what would you feel like if you saw your daughter get on her knees and propose to her boyfriend? How you are on like dates, courting, how you approach someone is the lead up to what we're seeing right now.
I mean, one of the most obnoxious commercials is that commercial with Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade.
Oh my God,
and they're on. Remember, it was back in the day. It was when they were both on. They're both like working out together
on the machine.
And she's
the bike.
and she's actually they're actually competing. And I'm thinking she's really competing. Like her face is really in it. And all I can think is this man is an Olympic gold medalist, and you are beta, and you're making this man irrelevant.
Yeah,
it's like you're an actress. Why are you trying to one up an athlete, a professional athlete, a gold medalist? You know what I mean? But you see what I'm saying? They're trying to make women more dominant than men. Yeah. It's like when we were watching the movie Us, Jordan Peele, the woman was the one, protecting the man. And you know, every situation is like that now.
But you see, remember watching...
They're all trying to make women masculine and trying to make men very feminine. And
remember watching Coming to America? The second Coming to America?
Oh yeah,
the daughters, his daughters, are the one girl is like trying to get. It's like
here we go.
Where the world is trying to get men into more of a beta position, and you guys are taking the bait. A lot of y'all are just taking the bait and not even knowing you're doing it. You're looking at it as, oh, she's being courteous. To make men just seem more, just like we said, like just to put more of a passive beta role, and they're doing things like jewelry stores. Like Chloe was saying, and jewelry stores are starting to create rings, engagement rings for men.
Now, you know, I won't pay for a date, but I will cook for a man.
Yeah,
that's one thing. I mean, I would rather cook for you because I love cooking. So I would rather cook for you than pay for a meal. And I would pay for that. You know, I would buy the groceries. I mean, I would say that, but I don't want to go to a restaurant. I think that's odd and weird, and I don't want to do that, but I will cook for a man in a second. Yeah. I love cooking. So, to me, I don't know if that's the same. Or I don't know if that makes a difference.
Well, because...
you know what I mean? But I won't. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to satisfy the red pill in most...
What do you mean?
What I'm saying?
You think...
Okay, that means the same to you?
You're saying because you pay for the meal, but you're cooking it, so it balances itself out.
Right. Basically. But you're not going to see me pay for it. So, you know what I'm saying?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
It's going to be in my house. But you know what? I've actually cooked and
I enjoy cooking.
Most men will even pay for the groceries.
But I enjoy cooking, so I'm good at it. Yeah. But it's not just the cooking part that I enjoy. I enjoy serving.
I do.
Serving is... I like serving. It's just something very, I don't know, like, feminine about that. And I know I know feminists not gonna like me saying that, but I do enjoy giving a plate of
I don't even care if it's a sandwich. Like, there's nothing better than you cooking something, and then I don't know. For me, there's nothing better than me preparing something and watching you enjoy
the meal.
Isn't
that? I just love that. I don't know what it is.
I like watching men eat. I think they deserve. You know what I mean? Like, remember how we used to go to? It's like I hate when men don't have food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I do. I hate when men don't have like you know
a real meal.
You know what I mean? Like takeout is like takeout's all right. Yeah. You know, it has its place, but there's nothing better to me than going to the grocery store, picking out ingredients and cooking those ingredients and serving it and watching someone enjoy it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like we're just Kara and I are just more. We're just, I can't say
I'm very old school.
Yeah, I hate saying that, but...
I mean, you could take me right back to the 1970s and I would fit right in. You know what I mean? I'm not kidding. I love everything about the past. I like the music. I like the movies. I like everything. I like the way men were. I like the way women were.
We understand the political stuff, you guys.
But I don't care about that. And you know, you get sick of trying to explain that part too. Oh, but don't be mad. It's like, no, I don't care if you are. This is like kind of who I am.
First of all, my favorite time, just... out of all of the decades, it's the 50s. I like the way they dressed. I like the way it looked. I like the way women were behaving. I just like the roles and relationships were not blurred. it was just what it is.
I just think that women need to become ladies again.
Sometimes when women do these things where they're doing these masculine things like you guys are talking about and seeing, a lot of times women that are in a desperation mode and just wanting, they feel like they have to do things. You know, like when a lot of women are single for too long, for instance. You know, this is a good example. When women are single for too long, many of them, they're not feeling good about themselves. They're not whole. They feel desperate and scared. They're, they're freaking out because they're, such and such age and they're not haven't found nobody yet. You know, those women will abandon all of their standards and logic that they would previously had to appease a man and start doing things that they don't even want to do, like pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Just because at least they got one. And so a lot of times you can get caught up with a desperate woman thinking that you're getting caught up with a woman who just likes to pay for things. So that, be careful and be able to really vet women in that way. Like if I can give you guys any advice whatsoever, unsolicited advice, but if you want to vet a woman, like you really have to pay attention to her, how she is, demeanor wise, and like what she's accepting, because a lot of times there are women who are just really desperate and are tired of not finding the one, and so they'll start doing things, like I said, that they would not normally do.
It's kind of like a con
to
job.
Get you, you. It's like, could it be a sign of love? Sure, why not? Right? If anything can be true in this situation, but 9 times out of 10, this could be a sign of desperation.
Yeah,
where he wasn't doing it.
And so she's now having a baby, and now she doesn't want to be a baby mama.
And she's like, no.
She's but look, if men want to marry you, they're going to do it.
Yeah. So.
And if they haven't done it yet, you know what I mean? It's like, slow down with the sex.
Yeah.
Slow down with trying to show your body all the time to get these men turned on, and just and sleeping with guys who haven't done anything to make your life better at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And be a better woman. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's what I'm saying. Just be a better woman.
I always tell you guys kind of like the truth of what way women think. You know what I mean? Good and bad. Good thing qualities women, and then some of the manipulative things that women do too. We do that on purpose because we were trying to let you understand that there are things that you guys are not looking at, that you think you know, but you don't. And it's just something to take in account, and just pay attention to things. You know what I mean?
Because believe me, if a woman wants to ask you to marry him, this is a woman that got something that she's not. If you can get a woman to ask you to marry her, this is a woman that is desperate. For some reason. It could be because of age. It could be because she already has kids. It could be because she's about to have one. You know what I mean? So, again, you got to be careful about just thinking because some woman's willing to throw everything at you that somehow she likes you more. Yeah. It could be that she just couldn't find anybody else.
And then you're just...
And you're it.
Yeah, you're it. So...
Just saying. Be a man. I'm just saying, be a man. Be a hunter. Yeah. I know it seems harder, and you might get your feelings hurt, but hey, we all get our feelings hurt. I've got my feelings hurt before. That's part of the dating scene is being vulnerable. But if you're not willing to be vulnerable, you don't have any business trying to have a relationship. Yeah.
So really, thank you, Chloe, for the email. We really appreciate that because when I saw that these jewelry stores are trying to do this, I'm like, what are you? Okay. I can't even believe it. This is where we're at though, 2021. They're doing
you're
this.
A woman who does that. If you, like I said, if you like it, I love it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you like
not
it,
for me,
we
but
love it.
if you like it, I love it. Go ahead, do
so
you.
Go right saying, buyer beware. It's kind of like that, buyer beware.
Right.
Let us know what you think, you guys. Leave a comment below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and if you enjoy our content. I mean, if you watch 3 or more videos, I would say you enjoy our content, right?
Yeah, maybe. Some people hate watch.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Well,
if you're a hate watcher, subscribe. Guys, thank you so much for watching. See you later this week. Bye.